I'm Hannah Cruz, and welcome back to the Church Musician's Assistant. In today's video, we are going to talk about how you can harmonize a hymn tune that has no chords above it, no four-part harmonies, no accompaniment written out. All you've got is the melody, so how do you come up with a harmonized accompaniment for it? That's what we're going to be diving into in this video. And we are going to do it in 10 steps. So let's get started. By the way, if you are not subscribed yet to the Church Musician's Assistant, please go ahead and do that. Click the subscribe button and you will be notified every time that we put out new educational videos, and we hope you enjoy those. So go ahead and subscribe, and now let's get into our topic. Alright, so I found a hymn tune in our hymnal. It's called Sine Nomine. I'm sure most of you know that one. You might know it as For All the Saints, but there's a different text in here, Go to the World, and in this particular setting, there's no chords or harmonies written in. So that's what we're going to find out. Now, the first thing that I would do with this is determine whether it's major or minor. Yes, there are more modes than just major or minor, but pretty much all hymns are going to be either major or minor. That's the most typical. So let's figure that out. This hymn is definitely major, and we want to find out what key it's in also. There's a B flat in the key signature, and it ends on F, so we know this is in F major. Alright, first step complete. The second step is to go ahead and figure out what all of the diatonic chord options are available to you in this particular key. So we're in major, we're in F. That means our one chord is F. Then we have minor 2, we have minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, and then diminished 7, which is kind of the same thing as 5, 7, back to 1. So those are our diatonic options, the main chords that we will be choosing harmonies from. Yes, there are chromatic options, but you should probably just figure out the best diatonic chords first, and then if you want to reharmonize, then I have several videos and actually a course coming out as well on how to reharmonize, and there's your opportunity to spice things up if you so desire. But we're just figuring out basic harmonies to accompany our melody here. Okay, the third step for me would be to divide this into its main phrases. So, okay, first phrase would be second phrase would be etc. You can kind of sing through it and feel where these major phrases are. Of course, it gets broken down into shorter phrases, which is also important. That's the first little phrase, the second little phrase. You know, so think about it in terms of big phrases first, and then we'll break it down into smaller phrases in a second. Now, I like to figure out what kind of cadence I want to use for each phrase. Of course, later on you can alter those, change things around, but just to get started, I like to come up with the cadences. So what chord do I want to end this first phrase with? The phrase ends in an unpredictable sort of way, almost like a question is being asked. However, it does land on an A, which is squarely in the diatonic 1 chord. So the 1 chord is an option for us. Another option would be minor 6, which is D minor in this key. What else? Let's see, minor 3, A minor. So you see how from the diatonic chord options we can quickly figure out which, we can eliminate certain chords and just say, okay, well, we have 3 really good options here, and which one do I want to use? Now it's a little bit subjective, right? Or you know what? Let's go with minor 6, at least for now. I'm going to write that in above the melody note, and then we'll back it up from there. What chord will we use to bring us into D minor? Well, the last 2 notes of that phrase, the penultimate notes before the final note, are G and C. That really makes you want to throw in a dominant chord, the C7. So this could be deceptive if you want. Or the C could be a part of an A minor chord, an A minor 7 chord, because A is the dominant of D. But I like the deceptive sound of C7 to D. So we're going to do that. Now I'm going to do the same process, but with the smaller phrases. We figured out the end of the first long phrase, and now let's go back and do the same thing with that shorter first phrase. All right, that feels like we're landing on F to me. So I'll write in F, and then we need to figure out the chord that comes before that cadence. Let's use C7, so dominant sound there. Now we don't have any chords for the next few notes. And then we have our cadence that we figured out earlier. Okay. I'd like to harmonize the critical points of the melody. That is the more important notes. There are certain notes that are like passing tones and don't receive as much emphasis in the melody as others. So, for example, the downbeat of that measure is receiving more emphasis to my ear than the pickup note or the following note. Okay, that F following the D is just a note that helps us move through the melody. It's not a extremely significant note. In fact, you could take it out and just go, and the melody would be fine. So that D at the beginning of the measure is the significant note, and therefore I'm going to find a harmony for that note first. Now D is part of several chords diatonically in the key of F. B flat is a good that's the 4 chord. Ah, interesting. Okay, so we could use that one. It's also part of D minor. But if we're going to cadence on D minor, it's a little too repetitive for me anyway. Then there's a minor 2 as well. Oh, now that works really well because minor 2 in this key is G minor, which happens to be the dominant of the next chord we chose, C. And then our deceptive. Now we've harmonized the whole first large phrase. Okay, great. This sounds good. It could be a little fuller and more interesting. So this is the step where you want to determine how fast or slow your harmonic movement will be. Do you want chords on every single note of the melody? Do you want, one chord for a whole measure? It's up to you. I kind of like a mixture of harmonic movement, some chords moving quickly and then some time for the melody to pass through one chord and give the singer or the listener a little bit of a break from all of that chordal movement. Sometimes it's nice to move chordally under long notes in the melody. For example, okay, this is a long note, it's 3 beats. So what we could do is just go F, B flat, F. That's 1, 4, 1. And you're not messing with the melody note because F is part of both of those chords. And that little bit of harmonic movement during the long melody note just helps propel it forward. Also at this point, you can add suspensions, color tones like 7ths, 9ths, etc. Anything like that you want to the basic harmonies that you've chosen. As I'm doing this, I am playing the melody in the right hand with chords in the left hand. Sometimes I'm filling in chord tones in the right hand as well, but I'm trying to keep the bass, the root of the chord, in the left hand too. So roots of your chords in the left hand, filling in those harmonies in the middle, melody in your right hand. If you want to take this to the next level, beyond just the little chords you've written in above the melody, you can create your own four-part harmonies, either to play on the keyboard or to have your choir sing. So that would be the next steps, taking it to that next level. I would recommend writing the bass line first. It doesn't have to be just roots of chords. In fact, I think it's really nice if you can treat the bass line as its own melody that complements the existing melody and has a vocal quality to it. In my opinion, I think that makes for a nice 4-part sound. Then of course you're going to fill in your tenor line and alto line, kind of adjusting all of those lines as needed. And if you need tips on that, there are so many good videos on the internet. These are Western music theory practices, so there will be lots of help out there, and there are textbooks, music theory textbooks that talk about ways to write your own really nice 4-part harmonies. So I'm not going to go into that in this video. maybe that'd be a good topic for some other video in the future. We'll see. But let's review the 10 steps. First, look at your melody, figure out what key it is in, whether it's minor or major. Second, you will determine all the possible diatonic chords within that key that you could utilize. 3, divide it into phrases. 4, choose the cadences for your phrases first. Start with cadences. And 5, choose harmonies for the critical points within the phrase, right? So you're determining important notes of the melody and sort of dismissing the passing tones, at least for a time. Then you can decide whether you want faster or slower harmonic movement, and that might be a time to harmonize those passing tones, the less important notes of the melody, if you so desire. Step number 7 would be time to add suspensions, color tones, passing chords, just to give your harmony a little more interest and fullness. Step number 8, play it, listen to it. Play the melody in your right hand with the bass, the roots of the chords in the left hand. Fill those harmonies in the middle and give it a listen. Make adjustments from there. Step number 9, if you want to, write 4-part harmonies, would be to create your bass line. Then step number 10, write the tenor and the alto lines to finish and polish out your 4-part harmony. Hey, if you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Church Musician's Assistant. Again, I'm Hannah Cruz, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Good luck with all your harmonizing. Bye.